when we do a money coaching process, we take people to understand what's their history with money, what are the ways they start looking at money when they were young, and see how their parents look at the money.
So, in a, let's say, a powerful duo, in a partnership, it's good to have a magician and a warrior.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect combo.
Oh, the second archetype is the victim. And the victim usually tends to blame others, the situation, their parents, their, I don't know, their country for their unsuccessful financial situation or life.
Isn't it very important that children today in school should learn what you are coaching,
Oh, yeah.
right?
Yes. We learn a lot of stuff, but we don't learn the things probably we most need in life.
The
And
real stuff.
yeah.
The real
And
thing. Welcome to another edition of Step by Step Talks. I am here today in Panama with Joann Lares. She is a specialist in money coaching. Over the last few weeks, as I've come to know Joann, we have talked specifically about the 8 archetypes of people that deal differently with money. But before I go any further, I'm going to let Joann introduce you herself to you, and then we will move forward from there. Hello, Joann.
hi, Rohini. How are you? I'm so thankful for being here with you.
It's just a pleasure. I mean, what I've learned from you in the last few weeks has been a complete eye opener, and I think this should be shared with my audience, specifically the women audience, because my motto, my goal with Step by Step Talks is to make sure that women understand the importance of being financially independent. Now, when I was doing a bit of research on what you do, I learned that psychologically and practically, money plays a big part in people's lives. I'm going to let you explain to us what that means.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Because when we grow up, we start to develop a relationship with money that consciously we don't know. We just start absorbing from our parents, our household, the dynamics around money, how our parents talk or argue about money, what are the answers we get every time we ask for money or ask for probably a toy or a treat. So those are the kind of things, little things that start to develop the way we look at money, and then the way we manage our money when we grow up. No, so that's what we call the relationship of money, and people really don't understand that those are the dynamics, the patterns, the habits, and the emotions that take them to make their decisions around.
So that's what you mean when you talk about money behavioral patterns. They have
Absolutely.
money, everybody behaves differently around money. Now, it's so interesting that you say that, because when I was to be a financial planner and I used to work with advisors training them, we used to have clients who just could not save, or they always had an excuse. And I used to tell them at that time, put all your receipts in a fishbowl, and I'll come back in a couple of weeks and go through everything, and then we'll pull out what's necessary and what's not necessary. And then after that came the Excel spreadsheet. But now you've come up with a very good concept, and it's quite an eye opener. I'd like you to expand on the 8 archetypes of money, how people view money. I think that's what it is, right?
Yeah, when we do a money coaching process, we take people to understand what's their history with money, what are the ways they start looking at money when they were young, and see how their parents look at the money, because we often like reflect what we absorb on our childhood. No, so we start developing ways to look at money, and that's what we call the archetypes. We have 8 archetypes, and those archetypes are based on the Carl Jung study around human behavior, and we apply them to the relationship with money. So we have the first archetype, it's the innocent, and that's Imagine a little child. No, when we are young, we need the protection of our parents, of our caretaker, and we rely on them. The problem is that when we grow up, we should start to get more confident and being able to manage our own money stuff.
Okay, so you have the innocent. So an innocent would be like not understanding what to do with money.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
typically, I have money, but I don't know what to do with it.
Yeah,
Okay.
and um, it overwhelms people.
Okay.
Money overwhelms people when they're innocent,
Of
and
course.
they tend to just don't think about it. So it's people that you can find that they're afraid to look up their bank statements or their bank accounts online because they get like so afraid to see what they have done with money and to realize that they're not taking good care of their money.
So out of sight, out of mind. That's what it.
Absolutely, yeah,
That's exactly
absolutely,
what
yeah.
happens with the
Mhm.
innocent. What is the second archetype?
The second archetype is the victim. And the victim usually tends to blame others, the situation, their parents, their, I don't know, their country for their unsuccessful financial situation or life.
Okay.
Okay, so
Yeah.
and it's people that you can see they're highly emotional, they're very always complaining about the money, and that it's interesting because you can find that it's an addictive behavior. Not like when you're always saying like, oh, poor me because I can't do it. You usually have people that can be like have some pity or and start like helping you because you're like the poor one, the one that hasn't had the opportunities in life and all that. No,
Ah,
so
okay.
so
Mhm.
it comes usually when you start seeing money as something that it wasn't available for you.
Ah, when it
Okay.
wasn't available. That's what you see
Yeah.
when you see the victim.
Yeah.
It
That's
wasn't always
when you
available, and that's why you're always blaming other people. And these people, let's say the victim and the innocent, they're not savers.
No,
Probably not.
probably not because they just don't get in touch with their own finance. They don't take much action.
They don't take much action.
Yeah.
Who is the third
The
archetype?
third one is the warrior, and that's the one
Warrior.
who takes action because the warrior is like the master in the material world. You can see people who can thrive no matter their which background they come from. You can see people that are very goal oriented, that people that have very strong leaderships, like drive, and that's people who can have a very good relationship with money.
With money.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the innocent, we've got the victim, now we have the warrior. So who is number four?
Number four is the martyr, and the martyr is like a
Martyr.
imagine a warrior, but who didn't learn to set boundaries. No, and you see the martyr. It's very common among mothers that those the women who sacrifice for their children and do everything for them, and then but it like very deep inside they're very controllers. No, they want to control their children's life.
Oh.
They want also to be part of their decisions because that's a way of giving not only um, money but love.
Ah, yeah,
Okay,
that makes sense.
so
So when we work with the martyr, is it easy to get through them? Because that's a very hard trait to have and to get, to go through.
yeah, I think well, each archetype has its own challenges,
Yeah.
but I think we always have the opportunity to change. We can always change. Probably it would be harder if our limiting beliefs are ingrained and we don't look at them as a possibility to change. But once we empower people, and that's what the money process objective is all about, to help people regain their power and try to start to look at their finance in a different way.
So, before we go on further to any other traits, can you tell me how these archetypes affect the whole family? Because obviously you're dealing with the main person who looks after the families, right? How do these traits affect the family?
Well, as I told you, like we learn to deal with money, to manage our money, not from the things they're taught us, but what we can observe.
From
No,
what you can observe. So if
what
it's a mother who's got a family and a husband and you're dealing with the mother, obviously her traits are falling into the family. And she's,
absolutely, and their children, they're gonna absorb, and um, they're gonna learn from her how to treat money,
yeah.
how to manage
So it's like a
their
domino
finance.
effect.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So what's the next archetype?
The other archetype is the fool.
The
And the
fool.
fool, yeah, is a very optimistic person, a person who's always partying, but a risk taker, and also a person who likes or see money as a game. So it probably a gambler,
A gambler.
people that people that live just for the moment,
Yeah.
and probably can have financial problems. But what they most like in life is to have the adrenaline of earning money,
Or winning money.
Or winning money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So they're not
Mm.
as concerned as other archetype of losing money, because they want the hype that comes with.
They want the hype that comes with. That's
With the
amazing.
money.
It's incredible how you've come to so many, but so many archetypes. But I can actually think of many people that I know, and I can place these archetypes to people that I know.
Oh
You know?
yeah.
Because I mean, as a financial planner, I was looking through their finances. Now, if I had all these archetypes in place, I'd know how to deal with them, because I'd have you to show me what to do next, right?
Yeah, and you can see each time people speaks, you can see the archetypes coming out.
Wow.
No?
Yeah, it's amazing.
Yeah.
And how many more left now?
Now there's the creator artist, and that's a very spiritual person that well, just like, imagine an artist, no, that's always creating and doing art, but usually has a love and hate relationship with money, because
Okay.
it's so spiritual, so elevated, that they find the money that's very mundane and all that. No, so they need to relate with money in another way, and start looking at money even as the spiritual part of it, because money has a spiritual part.
So when you say that money has a spiritual part, do you walk right through, the Bible? Because we talk about money in the Bible. Do you coach that as well, or do you bring that up, or no? I mean, that I know that in the Hindu religion we have money, but it's talked about in a different manner.
Yeah, each culture and each religion
Yeah.
has a way of looking at money. And I grew up in the Catholic religion.
Yeah.
And I can find, like, that religion gave me the vision that I was very lucky to have all what I had, and um, I wanted to help people that wasn't in the same, like, didn't have the same privileges, but also gave me a look of money that sometimes full me of guilt, because I could have more, and I would probably, I could do better with the money I have, if I could give it more to others. No, so I had
Okay.
to work on my own relationship with money, to heal that part, and to understand you're never going to be poor enough to help others out of
Of course not.
poverty.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so when we talk about the spiritual part of money, we look at it as the byproduct of the abundance, and we're abundant human beings.
Yeah.
No, and we're born in abundance, and sometimes but we sometimes don't get in touch with that.
Exactly. Okay, so we've now got one more left to go, I guess.
We have two more
Two more.
left.
There's, I know there is the magician and there is
The tyrant.
okay, the tyrant.
And the
Okay, yeah.
tyrant is
Yeah,
like that very financially successful person,
yeah,
but it's always a very controlling, and is the workaholic, the never is enough.
yeah.
So they start to earn a lot of money, but never find themselves like plenty, abundant, and
They
they're
never enjoy their money.
they can't enjoy their money.
They
Yeah,
can't. They
they can.
cannot enjoy
They
their
cannot
money, and
do
that's
it.
sad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
It's
we can see a lot.
oh yeah, yeah. A lot of people just don't know how to enjoy their money. But what is their thought process? I mean, why they can't enjoy their money, so they just keep saving it? They're like looking at it in the bank.
Yeah, they tend to control people and to with money, and they also tend to not and probably not enjoy it because they think that if money runs out, they're very afraid of money running out
Yeah.
because I think in the unconscious they believe that their net worth is equal to their own worth. No.
Ah, a lot of cultures think that. A lot of
Yeah.
people think
So
that,
we
and
need
that
to
was
have
an own
more
worth.
in order to be more. No.
More, yeah,
More
exactly.
worthy, and so they find they're in the that kind of struggle that there's never enough.
There's never enough. And then we have the most popular one. There's the magician, right?
And
Because he makes money or she makes money.
and
Yeah.
the magician is
Yeah.
the master in the spiritual world. So in order to have a good relationship with money, we need to have both the warrior and the magician playing along. No, so imagine you're driving a car.
Yeah.
Who would you put in the driver's seat? The warrior. That's the one that takes action. But who's gonna tell you where to go? That's the magician.
Magician will tell
And
you.
probably we could put behind the warrior to the creator artist, because he's gonna come up with very good ideas of the vision that we want to create, no, in our life. But he won't be in the driver's seat.
So, in a, let's say, a powerful duo, in a partnership, it's good to have a magician and a warrior.
Yeah.
That would be the perfect combo.
Oh,
Yeah.
like a marriage or
Yes,
something like
yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah, we could have uh, all or very different archetypes inside of ourselves. So what we should do is develop both the warrior and the magician inside of us.
Within
Yeah.
us, instead
Yeah,
of
yeah.
having. Oh, I see. So is that what you do? You coach people to develop both together.
Yeah, because
Wow.
we see money not only the practical and material side of money, but also the behavioral and the spiritual side.
Side. Wow, that's just unbelievable. It's amazing how you've come up with this concept. And you've said that you've had many success stories of people you've coached and who've actually come through their challenges. We'd call
Yeah.
them behavioral money challenges, right?
Yeah. First of all, well, I want to clarify that I learned this from the Money Coaching Institute. That's
Yes.
an institute that have more than 25 years
Yes.
in the States, and the founder and the developer of all this methodology is Deborah Price. She's still
That's right. I read about Deborah
yeah,
Price. Yes.
she
Yeah.
has several books about this
Yes.
perspective around money. And once I got to know this methodology, I could understand a lot of not only my own behaviors, but the behaviors I found during my more than 15 years working in the financial industry, studying people's behavior, clients' behavior, and developing financial products so they could like prosper, no, in different stages of their own financial journey.
That's right. So, for the sake of the audience, do you want to share which bank you're with and where you were working? And I believe that there was a time that you were also helping alleviate poverty.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Yes. So do you want to share that with us? Because this all sort of ties in together, right?
Yeah, I started working in um, the Bank of Venezuela. That was near the year 2000, something like that. Then I went to another, like a bank specialized in microcredits,
Microlending. Yeah.
micro lending,
Mm.
and start like giving people like their first credit,
Yeah.
their first loan.
Okay.
It was a productive loan, so they could have their own business, and that I think that experience helped me to integrate two of my passions, like finance and also helping people. No, because I worked 2 years. I lived 2 years in Italy as a volunteer,
Yeah.
helping people and organizations that needed volunteers to develop like better ways to get water to poor people, or get small children to schools when they didn't have the opportunities to go and all that.
So I've got a very important question for you. And my question is that when you were working with these people, what kind of archetype is these people? Are
Um,
they just one type, or is there a
no,
combination?
we can have a combination, but
Even
it's common to find a lot of victimhood in poor people.
victimhood,
Yeah,
yeah. And that's what you have to work around,
yeah.
right? Yeah, that is amazing. So now you have led um, quite an interesting life, and then you came across some challenges, right? And like I always talk about women being financially independent and the importance of women being financially independent. Do you want to share your story of what happened to you and how being financially independent, you pulled yourself out, and why it's very important for women to make sure that they are financially independent?
Yeah, in 2014, I was diagnosed with cancer,
Right.
and I had to. Well, at the time, I was working at a bank. I was a vice president of retail,
Yeah.
and I have a like a very good job. But at the time, I was looking for something else, and then, well, I had to stop because of the treatment.
Yeah.
And when I got back, that made, I think that was like the time in life when I had to like change the way I was working and looking at like my own life,
Yeah.
because I wanted to give more impact. No,
Yeah.
and during that time, well, yeah, I had a good insurance. I also had money saved, and so I could stepped out the like my job for almost 15 years and start a new, like a new path, following my passion, following like being more aware that the time I had in this life was to serve others.
To serve others. Now, how important is it for women to be in this situation?
Yeah, I think like when you're financially independent, you have the freedom of choice.
Yeah.
I could because sometimes I see people that, and especially women, that are in relationships that they don't want to be in,
Yeah.
or in jobs they don't want to be in, and they only stay because of the money.
Yeah.
And the money is very important, but we have to understand that um, we can have our own money. We can work for our own money, and when we set a plan to be financial independent, we can also have the freedom to choose the life we want to live.
So it's so very necessary to have a financial planner and have a financial coach, a money coach.
Yeah, money
Yeah,
coach.
because if you combine the two, it can be a powerful effect on your finances and your psychology towards the way you view money.
Absolutely.
Right. Now, what would you tell the audience if they were to come, get in touch with you? Where would we get in touch with you so that they can come for money coaching?
Well, I'm on LinkedIn as Joann Lares,
Yeah.
and also in Instagram.
Oh, you're in
honest.
Instagram
Yeah.
as well, so they can connect with you directly,
Yeah.
right?
And I have my website is Contigo Coaching Financiero, and you can do the money type quiz in there and just see which archetype or you have active or passive.
Oh, I tried that earlier on.
Oh,
It
really?
was very interesting.
Oh, okay. So we can talk
We
about the
can talk about that
results.
later, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Exactly, exactly. Now, I just want to touch a little bit on how do you think a woman should prepare herself? So financially, how do you think a woman should go around starting right from the beginning? Because some women are really not into it, because I've got clients who'll say, my husband takes care of this,
Yeah.
I don't understand this. Or you know what, my big brother does it, or my uncle tells me which stock to buy or which fund to buy. And we know how crazy that is, right? To be really honest. So what would your suggestion be to the audience, the women audience specifically, as to what they should do?
Yeah, well, as money coach, we go to and meet people wherever they are.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if um, where you where are you in your financial journey.
Yeah.
You can always start. And the first thing to do is get in touch with your money, and also start to be aware of the relationship we have with money. I always ask my clients, if money were a person, what would he or she say about you?
That's a very good analogy. What would
Okay.
they he or say about you?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
How do you treat money?
yeah.
Do you treat money as you treat your best friend, or do you treat her as you treat, I don't know, your enemy? No? Are you controlling? Are you obsessive around money? Or are you just relaxed and confident about it? So, when we understand the way we treat money, we can understand the why we have the results we have in our financial life.
So personally, I think I grew up in an environment where we were taught how to respect the money we earn.
Okay,
Respect
very
the
good.
dollar you earn, because it's hard work that gets that dollar in. So don't use it foolishly,
Mhm.
right? Respect it and use it properly, right? Um, I think, isn't it very important that children today in school should learn what you are coaching,
Oh yeah,
right?
yeah. Sometimes we get in school a lot of I don't know, how do you say, we learn a lot of stuff, but we don't learn the things probably we most need in life.
The
And
real stuff,
yeah,
the real
and
things,
the
yeah.
relationship with money is, I think, the longest relationship we're going to have in our life, because we, even though when we don't earn it, we have a relationship with
Of
money in
course,
our first years, and we're
yeah,
going to have it during all our life.
yeah,
No, even after we die, because someone has to take care of our
final, yes,
funeral and
yeah,
all that after we pass.
yeah.
No, so it's a very long relationship, and in schools you should learn how to manage and your money.
So today, in today's world, I think the challenge, and especially I see it in North America a lot, having worked there, is that women are living longer. So women are outliving men, and most of the whatever they've collected is going to women, right? And they have to deal with what's left behind, right? Um, I always encourage my clients not to let the family deal with it, but to
Yeah.
understand it yourself. So that even if a son or a daughter comes in and says, Mom, do this or do that, you can make your own informed decision before you react to what they're telling you. Right? Because I've seen a lot of clients lose their money to family members too. And it's very sad, because when they need it the most, it's not there. Right?
Yeah.
What do you have to say about that?
So that's what we need to help women to get confident about their own finances.
Their own
No,
finances, no
and
matter what age you are.
yeah, no matter
Yeah.
what age you are, and no matter um, where you are, if you're married, if you're a widow, you're able, because sometimes, and I think that's something to blame on the financial industry. It's like it seemed like a very difficult, complicated stuff. Like people, um, it's hard to understand, and really, you don't need to understand that much. You just have to learn how to, I don't know, add, subtract, multiply,
Multiply
and
and
divide.
divide.
No, I
Yeah.
think that's it.
Yeah.
Um, and when we start losing the fear around money, be we can develop a good friendship with money.
With yeah.
Yeah, I
Mm.
always tell my clients that we need to be friends with money. Money is not an obstacle, but it's our ally.
Definitely, it sure is. Money is our ally. I would encourage my audience definitely today to pay attention to Joann, to what she has said. Her points are very important, and they should be heard. And I think that you should reach out to her. I have learned a lot, having been in the financial industry for almost 38 years. I have learned a lot from you. When we were coaching and when I was seeing clients, we didn't have any archetypes. We used to go there and we used to be frustrated because we're trying to understand our client. Come on, you need this insurance policy or you need this investment. What are you going to do 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road? But it was hard to get through. But once you can understand their psyche, it makes it so much easier for us to deal with the clients.
Yeah,
Right?
and for themselves to take more informed decisions.
Yeah, and I think
Because
it'll be easier for them to even buy once they understand what they're thinking.
yeah,
Right?
absolutely. And when they understand where are they taking their decisions from. So
Exactly.
and it's it doesn't matter if we have a background in finance, because I had it, and I also realized after um, getting to know the money coaching process that I suffer for financial distress.
You
No?
suffer
Yeah.
too.
Yeah.
Okay, so
I
everybody.
remember I
Yeah.
remember when I was like during my cancer treatment, sometimes I would wake up at the middle of the night, even though I had the money, I have the insurance to cover it. I would wake up with a fear of what happened if I lose the money and I can't and
Look
I
after
can
them.
do like cost my treatment. No.
Yeah. See, so then we are encouraging women or everybody for that matter, have your plans in place. No
Oh yeah.
plan is wasted. It's being suggested to you for a reason. If it's critical illness, I think you have critical illness in Venezuela, right?
Yeah.
Critical illness, life insurance, disability insurance, health insurance. These are such important aspects. And if you're traveling, I would encourage that you make sure your plans are in place,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Because that's when you need them sometimes the most, right?
Yeah.
Is there anything else you can say to our audience that can encourage them, to look into money coaching or, give us some tips, right? Like I always say, be stronger than your excuses. If you have excuses and you're not meeting up with the right people, be stronger than that and start meeting the right people to get your finances in order. And if you have a problem with that, then get a money coach.
Yeah.
Right?
And you will never have enough money to enjoy your life unless you understand and you become friends with it. So I think don't wait until, because people sometimes think, well, I'm going to start looking at my money when I reach certain amount of money. No, or that's only for rich people. But you need to start right now where you are in order to achieve those financial goals you have.
So I would say that, become friends with your money.
Mhm.
That's what you want to do. Become friends with your money and you will see abundance.
Yeah.
Right? I could say that quite comfortably
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
After talking to you, I could say that
Yeah.
quite comfortably, right? So be friends with your money so that you can see abundance. It's not as difficult as you think it is. Once you improve the psychology of how you review your money, you will see the opportunity to make more money and be financially independent. I want to thank Joann Lares very much for today. You've been very, very informative. And, having come to know Joann in the last few weeks, I would say, yeah, in the last few weeks, I have learned so much and I'm definitely going to get coached by her. And we will be interviewing Joann again because we are going to come up with something where we're going to do something even more informative on how you can make more money and how you can work with money in an efficient manner. Thank you very much for the audience today. Thank you, Joann.
Oh, thank you,
and looking
Rohini.
forward to seeing you in a few weeks again.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, thanks.